Hey Delight Leaders, today we are talking all about how to create a sustainable leadership team and also leadership transition. And this is really important because this is something that every Delight chapter is going to have to face at one time or another. So first off, we want to talk about what does an ideal leadership team look like? Well, the first thing and the most important thing is that you want to have a diverse group of women leading your chapter. Diverse in the ways of different things that you're involved in on campus, different skin colors, different grade levels. You really want your whole campus to be represented by your leadership team. That way, when women come, they can see themselves in your leaders and they'll feel connected and feel like they belong. You also want to make sure that you have those grade levels represented because college is a time of constant transition. People are graduating and moving on to the next thing. So you really want to have several sophomores, several juniors, and several seniors on your leadership team. That way there are always some new people and some old people who've been around for forever and can kind of pour wisdom and direction and discernment and leadership into the younger leaders. So that's kind of your ideal leadership team picture. But here are kind of a couple trigger points of when you might need to bring new leaders onto your team. So the first thing is if you have less than 5 leaders, you probably want to add more leaders to your team. The best teams are leadership teams that have 5 to 10 women who are really spreading the workload and just making sure that all of Delight is happening. The second thing you might need new leaders for is if somebody's graduating, which is always going to be happening. But anytime somebody leaves, you're going to want to replace them. And then the third reason you might need new leaders is because you're maybe missing a role. Maybe on your leadership team, your worship leader is gone, they had to drop out, and so you need to replace that role. So that's another reason why you might need to add new leaders. And Ken's is going to walk us through how do you get new leaders?
Yes. There's 2 ways to go about this. The first way is if you have a bit of a smaller Delight chapter, you can just go ahead and pick the leaders that are most passionate and committed to Delight. The ones that show up every single week and are just going to support it forever and ever. You want those people on your team, so just ask them to join your leadership team. But if your team is a little bit, or if your chapter is a little bit bigger, you probably want to go through an application process. This allows anybody and everybody to step into leadership if they want to, and it's just super unbiased. So you'll just make this announcement at your Delight chapter meetings a couple different times, and then people will submit their applications. As a team, you'll look through those and just pick the ones that are best fit. Maybe it's that they're a different grade that you need. Maybe it's somebody that is just a different friend group character, whatever it is. You pick those people and pull them on the team. If you need them to be on the team immediately, just go ahead and train them quickly and just have them jump on board. But ideally, it's awesome for them to kind of just sit and watch on the sidelines for a little bit before stepping into that role. So that's kind of the 2 ways to go about it. We have a really awesome application that will help you through that process, as well as details of how this should happen if you're a little confused on the little things.
Wow, we think of everything.
Wow, we really do.
We really do. We try for you guys. But, okay, the last thing is you definitely want to start this process early. This is going to sneak up on you. We promise. It's snuck up on us so many times. But always be strategic and thinking about this. At what point are we going to need new leaders? Don't just rush and do this at the end of the semester. The best way is to really take your time in this process. Think about it early on, because then your chapter will always be sustainable, because there'll be new leaders, there'll be old leaders, there'll be people who know what they're doing and people who are learning alongside of them, and they're kind of being mentored by the other leaders. So think ahead of this. It's gonna be awesome. We really believe that God will provide the leaders that you need on your team to make sure that Delight is on your campus
forever.
Years and years.
Forever. We're excited to see all of your leaders and to see these women grow closer to Jesus through leadership. Stepping into leadership is the best decision you can make, right?
It is. It'll change your experience. You guys know. We know.
We love Delight Leaders. See you next time.